James Cecil Parke was born in Clones, County Monaghan on the 26th of July 1881. It was there that he first showed signs of his sporting prowess as a 9-year-old chess prodigy. However, it was during his time as a law student at Trinity College Dublin that Parke displayed many of his talents. While at Trinity, Parke represented Ireland at golf in the 1906 Home Internationals and also began what would become a formidable international rugby career, which lasted from 1903 to 1909. He earned 20 caps for Ireland and was captain of the side on 3 occasions. In 1909, aged just 28, Parke chose to retire from rugby and focus on his blossoming tennis career. Undoubtedly his strongest sport, Parke dominated Irish and international tennis for a number of years. During his career, he regularly ranked among the world's top 6 players, winning over 100 tennis titles. These included a silver medal in the men's doubles at the 1908 London Olympics, the Australasian singles and doubles of 1912, and the Davis Cup that same year. 1914 was an important year in James Cecil Parke's life. It was one of major success on the court, as he and his doubles partner, Miss Ethel Larkham, reached the final of the Wimbledon mixed doubles event. In the final, the pair faced the formidable duo of Marguerite Bruchty of France and the world's number 2, Anthony Wilding of New Zealand. Despite going a set down, Parke and Larkham gave a determined performance and managed to win the match, giving Parke his first and last Wimbledon title. Later that year, on August 2nd, 1914, Parke's world changed utterly as war was declared. He volunteered to fight, and on September 22nd, he became a commissioned officer with the Leinster Regiment. In 1915, Parke was sent to serve in Gallipoli, where he was badly wounded during a Turkish attack.
To the Secretary, War Office, London. I was wounded by shrapnel through the right wrist and also through flesh and body thigh and abdomen on August 10th at the Dardanelles. Your obedient servant, James Cecil Parke.
Parke was stationed in France with the Essex Regiment for the rest of the war. He eventually left the army in 1920, holding the rank of Major. Though Parke returned to tennis after the war ended in 1918, his post-war career didn't last long. He retired from tennis in 1920, no longer able to achieve his desired level of performance. Having lost the peak years of his career to the war, many would question why Parke volunteered for such a fate.
As far as Uncle Cecil was concerned, I really don't think he was the type of man who would have joined up because of peer pressure or whatever. He was very much his own man. I honestly think a more likely reason was that he just saw it as yet another challenge and, you know, an arena for excitement and competition that he could step into. But, you know, I don't think it was in his character to be particularly influenced by other people. Although I'm quite sure he would have admired other people for the right reasons, but no, peer pressure wouldn't have been something that I don't think would have been an issue. I think Cecil Parke's reason for joining would have been much more just in the fervour of everybody else joining. I don't think he was particularly a political animal. Let's just say in anything that I've read about him, there's no indication that he had a strong interest in politics. I don't think he thought of himself as joining the British Army particularly. You know, I think he would have seen himself as fighting for Ireland as much as for the rest of Britain, and that all of this was you know, fighting against the Germany that was, you know, the up and coming force, and you know, he would have been unhappy for all that they stood for.
Parke was not the exception. Over 220,000 fellow Irishmen volunteered to fight for Britain in the war, with almost 50,000 of them losing their lives. It is important to remember these Irishmen, their actions, and the various reasons, be they moral or otherwise, that encouraged so many of them to volunteer, leaving the safety of their homes and families behind them. One factor that actively enticed and in effect forced many Irishmen such as Parke to volunteer was Britain's manipulative recruitment campaign in Ireland.
I think it's undoubtable that recruitment posters had a strong effect on the recruitment effort generally. apart from speeches, which I believe to be one of the most emotive and most effective ways in which Irishmen were signed up, the recruitment posters were omnipresent in urban centres throughout Ireland, throughout the entire conflict. And even though they were sometimes targeted by anti-recruitment campaigns, which would either plaster anti-recruitment literature over them or else tear down these recruitment posters, they were still a key element and one of the pillars of the British recruitment effort in Ireland.
Having survived the war, Parke got married, had a family, and spent the rest of his life in Llandudno, Wales, where he practiced as a solicitor until his death, aged just 65, on February 27th, 1946. James Cecil Parke had been a phenomenal representative for Ireland, both on and off the pitch. He was an extraordinary man, the likes of which this country may never see again.